Everyone has a story to tell. It's my mission to tell it. Unscripted, unedited. We are on the record.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Sarina Fazan, and we are celebrating love in America. I am especially excited about this particular couple because I actually get credit. I'm officiating their wedding. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh. Eric Redinger, Jessenia, Rojas. Did I almost pronounce that wrong? Because I was not. I almost did because I'm so I'm actually nervous, but because what? Well, I know it's like that never happens, right?
I know.
Oh my gosh. So I have to introduce Eric first because Eric is the one, and look, he has green eyes. So we just did this whole story about the meaning behind the green, because I have green eyes. Only 2% of the people in the globe, nationally, internationally, have green eyes, and Eric is the one that helped me launch my show On the Record. Yeah. And created my website.
Yeah.
And we became, I didn't even know him until a couple of years ago. We were introduced by Law Smith, who
also has green eyes.
Wow. Who's a friend of ours, Mike Muroff, introduced me to, yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh. So, then this one, the love of Eric's life, Jessenia. Now engaged. Let's show off your ring. I don't know if we can see it.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. We even have the proposal video that we're going to show, which is so cute, so adorable.
We have to show it. Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
It's the most nervous I've been in like 10, 15 years probably.
I have to say, you looked quite dapper in the video, and you look quite dapper here
thank
too.
you.
And you look beautiful. Yes. All right. So let's get to it in your love story. You guys actually met years and years, like more than a decade ago, and you were married at the time.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, who's gonna start?
Yes.
Me?
Yep.
Yeah, we met like 10 plus years ago, and I was mentioning how I might have gotten in trouble a few times, mentioning how pretty Jessenia was. Then life happened where, had kids, and Jess went off to Italy, and then COVID, which brought her back to America because she was doing food tours, and that's not allowed with COVID around because it's, you'll be spreading the disease everywhere. And she came back and had posted something on Facebook about, I'm doing these in-home tours now and all these things. And I was working for a company that I was able to hire, sort of fun things for the office or whatever. And I said, hey, do you do that for corporate stuff and all? And then we went out to dinner and, progressed from there where she pretended like she didn't like me, but she did.
We're going to back up so much. Don't worry, guys. I know this is like, when guys sometimes tell the story, and we love you, of course.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to more than a decade ago. How did you guys were all mutual friends, correct?
Yes.
Was that the case? And you had a boyfriend at the time.
I did.
Right.
I was friends with her boyfriend. And we just met at a party. I think it was at your house, maybe, in St. Pete, 5 minutes from here.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
Yes, we are in our CP Red House studios in St. Petersburg, Florida. So here's what Eric told me, though. Since you said to me, which was very sweet, that even at that time, because you are a good boy, class act. So you said you had felt guilty at the time, like thinking, oh my gosh, I'm married and I see this woman and she's so beautiful, and of course you were respectful right to your wife, but you were attracted.
Right. She goes beyond, like, she's obviously a pretty girl, but there's something about you that when people meet you, and it's not just like me, it's like I told her I'm to the point where it's like if you meet somebody and they don't have a crush on you, like what's wrong with them? Is what I say. Like it's weird because she just radiates positivity and just happiness, and
It's gonna make me cry.
Isn't that the sweetest thing? That is so sweet, because that's the type of person that you want by your side. But Jessenia, let me ask you. So all those years ago, you had a boyfriend, and Eric mentioned your business, and I'm really proud of your business. Oh my gosh. I mean, you moved though back overseas, and tell us. I mean, you were #1 on TripAdvisor. Tell us about the business that brought you back home, because you're half Italian.
Yes. So my dad was Italian, mom Cuban American, and I did pretty much half of my life here, half in Italy, in terms of schooling and whatnot. Decided to go back 10 years ago after college here in Florida, and got into literally head first into food, the food culture of Italy when I moved back, and started helping this family cultivate their own olive oil, take care of their garden and their 30 chickens, you know, do the harvest of wine, and all of that just really did something to me, to where now, 10 years later, I'm able to share it with people in a really, really fun way. But in terms of bringing me back, it did bring me back. I didn't want to come back. I was really sad. It was a really hard year for me, really, really hard year. So to have friends reach out, like Eric, when I posted that video, meant a lot to me. And I didn't think anybody was actually going to pull the trigger and say, let me help you. And that's what happened.
Well, and so, okay, so Eric calls me though, because he knows that I'm in love with love, love everything about love. So he said, oh my gosh, so there's this girl, and I really like her, Sarina. Do you think you could help me? You know, like facilitate something. I'm like, of course, like tell me what you need. So what did you say? You said, will you hold a wine and cheese tasting? Oh, and talk about punishment, right? I mean, you guys are so generous.
Oh my,
what a sacrifice. What a sacrifice. See, English is my 5th language, so yeah, sometimes the words I get confused. Yeah, what a sacrifice. And they treated me and my girlfriends to, what was it? A wine and cheese pairing.
It was a food journey, like I like to say, and like I've mentioned before, where, yeah, we brought over these 8 meats, 8 cheeses, times 2, because I take you down a 2-part of it. But yeah, I take you down a journey. I teach you each meat or cheese before you eat it. I tell you about it, and it enhances the experience. And I believe the more you know, the better you can experience anything in life. So food is one of them for me, because it's a big one for me.
Okay, so it was so amazing, and we did a video. So Eric said, you know, if you have the tasting, we'll do a video, which is on my website, sarinafazan.com. So of course, you know, I'm sitting there, you know, I'm running around usually all day. Sometimes I forget to eat. So by the end of the night, and of course, I'm enjoying several libations at this point. So we're doing the video, the food journey, and all of a sudden, what do you say? This is hilarious.
The last part?
Yeah, the last part.
So I did mention that I was getting engaged.
So, okay.
Or that I was proposed to, I should say, and yes, I think, yeah, I guess I said yes in a way.
And
so, this person, but.
So I looked at Eric across the room, and I'm thinking, first I'm thinking to myself, there's no way that he would have proposed. They haven't even, like, and not even telling me. So I looked at Jessenia, and I'm like, you mean to Eric? And she looked.
Well, everybody started clapping, though.
Yeah, and everybody started clapping, because I'm like, you mean to Eric? And she looked at Eric and was like, and me like, no, because at this point you guys had not cross that line. And I said, but he really likes you and he's adorable. Who is this other person? And I'm sorry to the other guy. I'm really, really sorry. But
no,
I mean, you know, your eyes would light up. Your eyes would light up. And so.
Well, the really cool part is that, yes, there was another person involved in my life. Pretty much the day that Eric and I went out to dinner for the first time when I got back and he realized that I was back, this other person came into my life. And pretty much the same exact day. And so I had this business part with Eric and this love side with somebody else. So, and I didn't want to mess with business and love with him. So I just thought, okay, I'm keeping that, you know, that line is there for me. And plus this other person was in my life and I'm very faithful. So I was like, you know, not even looking that way. And I had my little blinders on. Well,
you
this whole
called me
time.
a Ken doll for the record. She's like, you're like a Ken doll to me.
Yeah, the Ken doll, you know, nothing there. There's nothing down there.
Business and
Right.
Well, yeah, like Ken doll doesn't have anything, you know. And so, I called him that. But the most beautiful part about everything is that this person gave me this light where I was just thought, I met the one. I'm so excited. This is exactly what I wanted. And I had this checklist, like really.
This other person did.
Not me.
Yeah.
Well, which was interesting because come to find out, this person, let's go with breaks my heart and shatters everything that he had said was not true about him, because if it were to be true, he would have never done that. But more than anything, I realized that the person that he had been describing the whole time and that I had fantasized about was standing next to me the whole time.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And you know, when they say, I've had so many couples on my tours, 45-year anniversary, 50-year anniversaries, come on my tour and give me their stories. Thankfully, you know, I'm very blessed that they were able to do that. But I would hear all these stories and I thought, man, these men that are men. I'm like, I want to meet a man that's a man. And I've, you know, I'm 36. I've had my fair share of relationships. And man, when you meet that man, like, you just know. You just know.
Well, you know, it was so interesting because so that night of the wine tasting, you guys went to dinner. Mm-hmm. Bella's, a local restaurant in South Tampa. I always like to, you know, give a plug to the local businesses. And Eric, though, you know, as friends, like, you know, what just happened at the wine tasting? So Eric called me the next day, and he said, "Oh my gosh," he was like, he was devastated. You know.
I didn't know.
Yeah, like. He didn't know about the guy, and he was just devastated that here's this girl, honestly, and you said to me that she is the love of my life. And I said, well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and let's just see what happens, right?
Yeah.
And it took a little while after that. I mean, not too long.
Well, I think what's really crazy about that whole situation, from my point of view, is that this other person that was in my life wanted to get a hold of all of my friends. Because he was overseas, so we had this like long distance relationship pretty much. We had known each other since we were kids, but he wanted to get a hold of everybody. And I did give him phone numbers to my best friends, pretty much anybody, my family. The only person I kept out of it was Eric, and I still don't know why. Well, now I know why.
Subconsciously, though.
I did, and I didn't want to hurt. I knew that like there's something, and it was really interesting.
You did know. She did know.
Well, I did and I didn't. I don't know. It was weird because for me, the light bulb switched in one particular moment of my life after this person had broken my heart, and a month had gone by, and he stuck by me like no other. He was really there for me because he knew that I was heartbroken. And about a month after that was when I looked at him, I'm like, he's not a Ken doll.
Like, he truly is the person I have been waiting for.
And more.
Yeah.
So, like, what I thought that other person was, he's that times like 1,100,000. Is that a number?
Yes, now it is.
So both of you, like, in your heart, you just know that this is a person.
I remember you asking, you're like, do you even see yourself dating anybody? I was like, I don't. See, because I mean, I was single and like was doing my best out there, and was single, you know, and it was just like, I can't see anybody but her really checking those boxes and, you know, like really being a real thing. And that was way before, like, I even told her that like I had feelings for her or anything like that. Which, by the way, she acted like, oh, what? Like, she acted like she didn't know. Like, come on.
And you actually wrote a letter, didn't you?
Yeah.
No, this part's crazy.
Yeah, the letter, had written her a letter. At that point in my life, my self-confidence wasn't super high. And I sort of decided, like, I need to just sort of declare, like, my confidence in a way. And I wrote her this letter that basically I had said, listen, you know, we're in business together, but if we keep hanging out, you're probably going to start having feelings for me.
Good for you, though. Good for you.
Right? So I had sent this letter.
August 20th.
Okay, what was the date? August
20th.
20th. Oh. And, you know, the things had progressed, and I'm thinking, oh man, the letter worked, and all this stuff. And not until after we had gotten together.
September 19th is when I read it. A month later.
She read it a month later, and I had pretty much predicted everything that was going to happen in the letter itself.
But she had not read the letter.
She didn't read it for a month, and I thought the letter was like, oh, she thinks I'm confident now, and like, you know, then it wasn't that at all. It was just like a fun coincidence that I predicted it.
Which coincidence happens to be our, like...
Oh yeah, we have fun coincidences all the time.
I know. You guys do have a lot of fun coincidences. Yeah. We're going to go to a break in just a second, but I do want to point, because we're going to show the proposal video. But Eric did call me and he said, Sarina, you know what? He said, I just want to go buy a ring. And he said, I know it's crazy. He's like, but I'm going to go buy the ring. And I said, I'm like, you are? I said, have you guys talked about it? And he's like, no. He's like, I'm gonna go buy it. And then you went, you bought the ring, and you shared a picture.
She actually was there to pick it out. Well, I picked it out.
That was another surprise.
That was another thing that was a fun coincidence where she tried on about 20 of them.
Yeah, no.
And then I was like, how about that one? And then she put it on and was like, oh, that's the one.
Right. Oh, that's what you said. You said you weren't, because you know, like a ring is a major, huge purchase, and you said you didn't even blink an eye when you went back.
Easiest decision I ever made.
Yes.
Like I didn't even think about it. Like, oh, am I making the right decision? No, I didn't think about it at all. I surprised her to take her to shop for it. She got in the car and didn't. I don't know where you thought we were going, but
eat something. I don't know.
We rolled up to the the jewelry store and we went around and another coincidence I didn't tell you about. The guy who sold us the ring was named Fortunato, an Italian man who spoke fluent Italian, and she tested him on it and did the same sort of thing. He was an importer of meats and cheeses, like
back in. Oh my gosh!
And you know what Fortunato means in Italian?
Fortunate.
Fortunate. Wow.
Or fortune, but yeah.
All right, well, we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to show the beautiful proposal. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm Sarina Fazan, and I love my new semis. And now it's your turn to get your new semis and experience your best vision. For 20 years, New Semi has been your trusted eye care provider for cataracts, LASIK, and eye exams. To ensure you have access to the best eye care with locations in Sebring, Carrollwood, South Tampa, and Clearwater. Visit newsemi.com to schedule your appointment at one of their 4 convenient locations. Newsemi is proud to be an official partner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You deserve Newsemis.
I'm Sarina Fazan, a journalist, producer, and podcast host. With a background in television news, I know how much time and talent it takes to produce a broadcast quality production. But no more. Red House Streaming offers a simple, cost-effective method for capturing live action and streaming it in real time to YouTube, Facebook, or any other website. From single camera shoots or multi-camera productions, conventional or virtual sets, and from the state-of-the-art Red House Streaming Studios to remote locations, the professional crew at Red House Streaming, backed by the technology and reputation of CP Communications, allows you to produce more content at a lower cost and with little to no engineering required. That's why my podcast, On the Record with Sarina Fazan, is streamed live from the Red House Streaming Studios each week. Contact Red House Streaming today at 800-762-4254 or online at cpcoms.com to learn more. I'll see you in the studio. So Eric is looking at a lot of those pictures in the commercials, and he's like, hey, didn't I do that picture for you? Didn't I do that picture for you?
I know for a fact I did.
Yes, my friend, you sure did. You absolutely did. So we're talking Love in America, this wonderful couple, Eric and Jessenia. Oh. Then I get to officiate their wedding. We'll talk about that in a moment. But let's pull up the proposal video for a second. We're not going to watch the whole, we're going to watch the proposal. But in this video, tell us how you're feeling, because you were really nervous. Here, hopefully it'll come up in a second. But you look very dapper, too. You look quite dapper.
I was very nervous. You know, the video itself is from my studio in my house, where I have a podcast, and I'm very much used to being on camera, but I was telling you guys earlier, it was the most nervous I've been in like 10 years. Look, I spilled a cup, and a vein in my forehead is going to start popping out, and the dog's in there. Yeah.
2 dogs.
And I had told her I needed you to come in for a sound check.
Okay, I was going to say, all right, and I love all your graphics in the back, you know. Tell us some of the graphics.
Well, I was like, okay, how can I make it a little bit more special? And I just put messages that ran on the TV behind us, you know, just like, oh, I hope she says yes, look how hot she is, and all these different things, knowing that she's not going to pay attention to it. Because like, she just rolled in and wasn't looking at the TV.
And I love what you
No,
said
I'm
when you
not
said he's used to being,
oblivious.
he's used to being on camera, right? So
Right.
you're like, but you're so
Right.
nervous.
I was way more nervous doing that than I am even right now. Like, it was just like, whew, it was intense, you know?
And I love how okay, so you ask her to come in to do a sound check. Mm-hmm. Okay. Jessenia, are you thinking anything at this point, or what are you thinking?
Now, we had gone to look at rings probably 5 days prior to this, maybe a
Not
week. No, maybe not even. Yeah, you're right, not even. And so anything that happened, but this goes really with just me in general for the last 36 of my life. I'm like, anytime like something would happen with a guy, I'm like, oh, this is my moment, you know, like it's gonna happen, and then it wouldn't happen. And so I thought about it. I remember on the drive, and then I was like, no, this is definitely not the moment. And then so I thought about it. So it went through my mind, but when I got there, I really didn't think so. I was like, okay, he's not going to do this. Like, it's not going to really happen. And plus, it's such a big deal. Like, what am I thinking? Jessenia, come on, this is not going to happen. So that was what went on through my mind.
So that was going through your mind. All right. So, and what were you going to say, Eric? What were you going to say?
What was going through my, I mean, yeah, if I couldn't stop thinking about how messed up it is to go engagement ring shopping and like spend more than a week in between that time and like proposing. Like, you know, if I had gone a year, that'd have been torture every time you go out to dinner. It's like, oh, is this the time? And like, no, it's like, we'll knock it out. Like, this is gonna happen, so let's just do it right now. Like, I didn't wanna, you know, make her suffer and just have this constant like, ooh, is this it sort of thing. And it's tough to make things unique these days with proposals. And I was like, all right, I do have my own setup here that I could make it look decent, have our audio come through, like you can hear what we're saying, hopefully. I mean, the production side of things went right out the door as soon as you walked in. I was like, I don't care. But yeah, it was like, that
Did
was...
they go out the door because you were like, oh my gosh, I'm just about to propose to the love of my life?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Although I think I did say, you need to say yes into the microphone.
Yes,
No, you did.
Because she did not say
And my
yes
response was
when I asked. She was like, "No, shut up." What did you say? Shut up. No.
Well, we're gonna watch it. Let's watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Okay.
Here, let's pull it up. Let's watch it. It's so
Get
cute.
it exactly. Jess, will you marry me? Don't say no. What? You can tell me.
What is going on right
Say. You gotta say an answer.
Of course, you stupid.
Say it on the microphone. Good.
Of course.
Okay. Can I see your finger?
Oh my gosh, that was adorable. That was so sweet. So, is there a wedding date yet?
No. Not yet.
But I still get to officiate,
Yes,
right?
of course. Of course. And we have backups if not.
Oh my gosh, no, believe me. No,
I know you're going to be there.
Yes,
Don't worry.
I'm going to be there. So, Jessenia, you mentioned something. You said you were 36 years old and, you know, you had gone through the dating scene. Had you been giving up on true love?
It's crazy because I don't think I ever had until that person that was in my life this summer before or while during that one broke me. And I thought, you know what? And I wasn't even almost sad about it. I was like, this is just my path. I'm gonna be one of those people that just has a lot of strong love, really, like, you know, strong things that happen with men, and that's it. But it's never gonna be what I've always wanted. And I was okay with that. I really was for a second, which was interesting. And I really gave up. I was like, that's it. Like, just, get over it. It's not gonna happen for you. It's just not. It's not gonna happen.
And then when it happened, so it gives hope, don't you think?
Absolutely. Well, the crazy thing too is, he was so patient with me for all those months. But that patience really was what did it for me. A lot of people don't know how to take me because I'm the kind of person that I can get really passionate really quickly about things. And so with him, it was really nice because the passion with him was this slow passion that he said he saw all along. It just took me a second, even though he was right. It was there all along because he was there for me in moments of my life where I was really, really down, which that in and of itself is passion, because that person's there with you and still smiling and still thinking you're the most beautiful person ever. And I saw that when he would look at me, but I just thought, well, I just don't feel the same way. And what I would tell anybody is, man, take those blinders down, girls, because the good boys are the ones that, the good guys, they're just, sometimes I want to say girls like me, but you look for this challenge, I guess. And with Eric, it was, but it wasn't. And that's what's just been nice. It's just all really easy with him. And I love that about life with him.
And I think that is what is key, because love should be easy. I mean, of course there's challenges, you know, along the way, but love should be easy. And Eric, I think for you to speak to this, divorce can be very hard, difficult. You're a single dad, 2 beautiful kids, of course. But for you as well, did you feel that, gosh, I'm not going to find that person again? Or
yeah, I mean, you know, the first time, you know, we ever kind of got together was after, you know, numerous times where Jess got to hang out with my kids, and I have a daughter and a son, and my daughter's older, and she's not easily sold on people in general, and to see the way she took to Jess, it was kind of mind-blowing. Like, I hadn't really seen her act like that with anybody before. And then my son, he's an easier sell, but he also is in love with her. And then I took a step back and was like, okay, between all the things that could be, you know, that I could want from a woman, like, she's not going to be beaten. She's going to be undefeated. Like, why am I waiting around? Like, I'm just going to get this ring and marry this girl. Like, why? Why not?
Wow.
You know,
like, yeah, why wait?
There's not, you know, I didn't even realize how big a deal the kids liking her, loving her was until I was like, oh man, this is like a big deal. Like, this, I need to make this happen.
But that's a really, but that's a point I want to explore a bit, because of course you knew you had such a strong feelings, but when you involve kids, right? Because you do not have kids, Jessenia. Of course, you love Eric's kids, and who knows, you know. but is that a deciding factor as well? Would you say?
Oh yeah, it was the deciding factor. I mean, that can't be reproduced. You know, like, obviously she's beautiful, and there's all these other things that I love about her, but then for my kids to also feel that way about her, I was like, oh man, I would be doing a disservice to my own children if I do not propose to this woman. Like, there's no way around it.
Look at that huge smile you have.
It's like I don't get shy very easily, especially because I'm always in the limelight with my job, and I like being in front of. He makes me shy.
Oh, that's so sweet. And Jessenia, so you gave us some great advice about, you know, telling ladies, you know, take those blinders off. What advice would you give?
I don't know. I mean, I would say maybe ask if they're engaged or something before developing strong feelings. But it worked out for me, so maybe don't do it. I don't, you know, I don't know if I have good advice to hand out, because the way it worked out wasn't, in retrospect, it was perfect. It was exactly the way it should have been. But as it was happening, it was like, what am I doing? Like, this girl, like, doesn't even see me that way. And I'm all along, I was just like, there's a little part of me that was like, I think she kind of
you did have,
and I did tell that to you a little bit when Jess has been on my podcast a couple times, and one night she had been over to do the podcast, and we had I like to paint. I like to do like these fluid acrylic paintings, and I was like, hey, you want to paint? And she and I painted together, and that was the night I was telling you about, that I was like, I think something changed. I think things are different. And she'll argue, be like, no, it wasn't that. And I was like, yeah, it was. And this was, she has her own timeline on when things changed. But for me, it was, I could sense something that night weeks ahead of when she first felt it.
Yeah, when I first felt it, for me it was weird because I had two moments. I always say I have these two moments. The one moment where I was like, okay, he's no longer Ken doll, whatever you want to call it, where I saw him as like a different person. I was like, okay. And it was interesting because we were working together at my mom's estate sales. She runs estate sales, and we were working in this garage together, and we worked so great together. It was quiet. It just was so fluid. And when he left that night, I missed him for the first time, and in a way that I hadn't missed him. I was like laying on this couch, like at this place with my mom and doing this, and I missed him, and I just felt like I kind of wish he was here cuddling with me. But the moment everything really changed for me was I had seen him as a dad. Like he said, we had hung out with his kids and whatnot, but this particular moment, we were at the house together, so it was like a different moment that we had in the kitchen, and I saw the way he was with his kids, and that was it for me. I was like, oh, he's the hottest guy I've ever seen in my whole life.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. So the bottom line, would you guys say that if it is meant to be, it is meant to be?
Yeah, patience. Have that patience. It's so hard. Like, you would have told me that a year ago, I'd be like, shut up with your patience. I don't believe that. Like, whatever, you gotta make it happen. But I mean, yeah, it was. It definitely took some faith on my end to keep it going, because she never let on. She never let anything on. It was just like, I liked her, and we got along great, and it was kind of just that. But she was not the type. She wasn't a tease. She wasn't she wasn't flirty at all. Like, it was very cut and dry. Yet I was still like, there's something there. I think I should keep going.
It's just amazing, though. Imagine. And that's why, I mean, life is so beautiful, right? Like, when you guys met years and years ago, who would have ever imagined, right, years and years later, that you would be brought together? That's how the universe works. Yeah. And that's why I truly believe in love and in fairy tales.
It is. I mean, for us it was.
I think one thing he and I have in common is we both believe in like this positive outlook in life. So I've never stopped believing until you asked me, but he was already in my life. So he had put that part, he was like, I'm going to break that barrier in her, which I think is true. But yeah, we're both just positive. Like, we have this same outlook on life, and that brought us together as well, where we were just, yeah.
We were in a similar position in life mentally. Like, we were both pretty beat down, you know?
Yeah.
And without that positive outlook on things, who knows, wouldn't have happened. I mean, had to have that one last shot at it.
Well, we are so happy for you, and we can't wait. I can't wait till you guys get married. I get to officiate the wedding. We're going to share the video. Thank you guys so much for coming on Love in America and sharing your story on the record. We love hearing from all of you guys. In fact, so many of our shows are based on people who reach out. So reach out. Do you have an amazing love story? Tell me. Share this one. You can find me on multiple platforms. There it is right there. And we appreciate so much all of your support. So thank you so much for watching again. Again, guys, congratulations. What a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
And stay safe. Bye.